My name's Andrea McCann. I'm the workstream lead for waiting list inpatients, and I'm also the change lead for waiting list. And today I'm going to be showing you the electronic add to waiting list form. Currently it's paper form, and we're going to go into electronic. Currently at the moment, if a clinician decides a patient needs to be added to the waiting list for surgery or a procedure, they will do that on a paper form. This will then get sent to the waiting list department in various forms. They can send it by hand. The waiting list department will go round and gather them. There also is a waiting list form on iSoft ICM, which would get sent to a generic email account, but it's quite inconsistent. Whereas this way, it's all electronic and it'll all be in one place. And I'll just show you this. So as you can see, I have test patients set up, and a clinician will just have to add an order to get this patient added onto the waiting list. And what they do is they will add an order. So we're just going to add that, and they can here search for their order. So I'm not a clinician, but I'm just going to add an order. And this is now the waiting list form. This mirrors what is actually on the paper form. So anything that's yellow, they will have to fill out. And I'm just going to quickly fill this out. It'll ask you for the visit type. Which theatres they want to send that patient to. So we'll just choose Darlington for now. It'll ask you for the consultant that's going to be doing it. So I'm just going to choose Kamali. Here you've got the clinical priority code. Currently, it's on the paper waiting list form. And the priority codes are a national requirement, and these decide in which order the priority of the patients. This can get misconstrued sometimes because if a clinician picks P2 and then write routine, it's a little bit misunderstanding, and it takes a little while for the waiting list to decipher this. So as you can see, we've added the descriptions to the P codes. So I'll just pick P4 for now. We'll make this routine. On here as well, they can add additional comments. I'll just put on here. As you can see here, it says the procedure duration. Now, currently what happens is on the paper waiting list form, it's down to the clinicians to state what time, or the waiting list staff will make those decisions on how long that procedure is going to take. Within the new EPR system, you can see it's defaulted to the national average of how long that procedure is going to take. Within EPR, once this clinician or consultant has done this procedure 10 times, it will average out their own duration. So for instance, here it says 120. This clinician may only take 60 minutes to do the procedure, and it will average it out. So when this clinician actually puts this order on again, it will average it out for a recent average or a historical average, and that's how long it will take. So in this way, it will mean we can make sure that the theatres are getting used at the proper rate, so we've not got big gaps, and we're going to be utilising the theatre timing and schedule a lot more accurately. So whereas currently, if you have a clinician that's put an hour down for a procedure but only takes 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes of theatre time that's not being used.
So this actually will really maximise capacity in the theatres, and
yes,
knock-on effect would be reduced waiting times,
yes,
and so on and so forth.
And hopefully more capacity in the future, which obviously is quite important.
Fantastic.
You can also put more comments in the orders. And then they would sign it. And as you see, it's processing, and that's future on hold. And that is the electronic waiting list form has now been sent to the waiting list department for them to do their part.
So what it does is it basically automates the entire process, so there's less paper, all in one place, and there's a steady maintained channel that goes straight to the waiting list department.
Yes, and it also stops any admin errors as well. For example, handwriting. You don't have to try and decipher someone's handwriting. It means it's going to be a quicker turnaround as well, because if there's anything that needs clarifying regards to the procedures that can't be read or anything like that, then the waiting list staff would have to contact the clinician to try and verify what's actually on the waiting list form. And obviously clinicians are extremely busy. They're either in theatre or they can be in the clinics, and it might be a day or so before they get back to them. Whereas this way, it's all, you can see it's all typed out. It's not actually.
So it streamlines the process and hopefully makes it a little bit more accurate, I suppose.
Yes, extremely
Yeah.
accurate. A lot of pre-populated.
Thank you very much, Andrea.